my main instrument. I did take piano lessons, but I was able to convince my parents I would rather play guitar, and that was the worst mistake I ever made. I think we'll just hope for the best.
Yeah.
I think it's that time.
It's
What?
forgot.
You're very sweet to me. Thank you. Just ya la la, ya la la, la la la, ya la la, la la la, ya la la, la la la, la 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 la, ya la la, la la la, ya la la, la la la, ya la la, la la la, la 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 la, ya la la. Page 13. Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz, 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 Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz. Page 20. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos.
It's a bit of a small crowd here on this Shabbat evening, but I do hope that we have a lot of people on our live stream wherever you are in this world. I don't know about all of you physically here or here on the internet, but it's been a long week. A lot has happened in our world, and we need Shabbat this week. We need a day where we can just unplug, where we can come together in community, pray to the divine, be together, take our minds off of all of the distractions going on in this world. With that, I want to invite us to welcome in the Sabbath bride with L'cha Dodi. We'll do the first 3 paragraphs on page 23 before rising on page 25 for the final paragraph.
So this service used to be called, in a long time ago, Shabbat Fusion. I'm not exactly sure why it's called Shabbat Fusion, except for maybe it fuses traditional and non-traditional melodies, and it's a more, sometimes a more contemplative in terms of the melodies that were chosen. I can speak English. Anyway. Ya la 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 l'cha Dodi. Oh, ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Shabor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemu tiferet v'litilai. Lai lai, ya la 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 l'cha Dodi. Oh, ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat. Lechu v'nelcha. Ki mekor haberacha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tefila. Page 23. Ya la la, ya la 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 l'cha Dodi. Oh, ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech, ir melucha. Kumitzei mitoch hafecha. Rav lach shevet ve'emek habachav. Vehu yachamo alayich emla. Ya la 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 l'cha Dodi. Oh, ya la 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 likrat kala. Shabbat.
Invite us all to please rise and face the entrance.
Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha, Utzola, Toch Emunei, Am Segula. Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat nekabela.
You may be seated.
This is a piece of trivia about this particular melody. The Ahachenu Kol Beit Yisrael that we've been singing while the hostages have been hostages, was written by the same person who wrote that melody for Lachado D. A.B. Rottenberg.
It was a beautiful melody. And as we were doing Lachado D, it was beautiful to see you come in with your little the wand, as if you were the little Sabbath bride. It was so cute. And not only did you welcome in Shabbat, but we got our minion here in person. So it was perfect timing. So thank you for that. All right, we'll continue now with the Psalm for Shabbat, page 27.
Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir leyom ha-Shabbat. 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 Mizmor, shir, shir leyom ha-Shabbat. Mizmor, shir, shir leyom ha-Shabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir leyom ha-Shabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir leyom ha-Shabbat.
I'm going to invite us all to please rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, page 39a.
Amen.
be seated. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari v'Aravim.
Turn to page 40, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu v'shochveinu uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam v'layla nehege yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Turn to page 41, the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam
B'shivtecha b'vreitecha v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben einecha u'chtavtam mezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Turn to the second paragraph, page 44, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, Osefele. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele.
This time we're going to take a moment to sing Rifa'enu, a prayer for healing. The world so desperately needs healing, from the hostages who were, thank God, released just a few days ago, to those who still remain in Gaza, to all of our loved ones, to ourselves. We're all in need of healing at this time. So I invite us to close our eyes, to imagine a world filled with love, filled with good health, as we sing Rifa'enu.
Rifa'enu Adonai v'nei Rapha. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones, heal our people speedily in our day. V'nomar Amen. Rifa'enu Adonai v'nei Rapha. God, only you can bring true healing, and so we pray. Baruch Israel. Blessed are you, Shekhinah, restores our loved ones, heal our people speedily in our day, and let us say Amen.
Turn to page 45, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
I invite all of us to please rise to sanctify the day of Shabbat, Vishamru, top of 46.
Vishamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם.
May be seated. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbos.
Glad that the room filled in a little bit over the past half hour or so. Maybe the YouTube room filled a little bit more too. I'll check after Shabbos. So if you were like me and you followed, the news this week, I'm not going to talk about everything, but I'm talking a little bit about technology. Right? There was the TikTok ban occurred. I think it was on Saturday, and my Facebook feed was filled with everyone saying, "Oh my gosh, TikTok is gone." And then I think it appeared back the next day. Right? It wasn't gone for long yet. Everyone flooded to a new app called the Little Red Book. Everyone was on there now, and it was just technology was so the forefront of the at least the news before Monday. So I want to share a little bit about technology. Right, it is great. Right, I love it. I'm wearing my Apple Watch now. Grateful for it. It does tell me I need more exercise, so I don't always love it, but it is helpful. So over the past, couple of decades or so, technology has really advanced, even in my short lifetime so far. Right? There's many great benefits of technology. Right? Our friends, our family, our coworkers, our loved ones, they're just a text, a call, an email, a FaceTime, a tap away from us connecting to them. And just a few decades ago, it was almost impossible. If we wanted to immediately get in contact with someone, we'd have to call their house phone, right? We'd have to kind of go like this, and if we messed up a number, it would be the wrong number, and it would be very awkward, right? Then caller ID appeared, and then text messaging, and now we can just tell Siri to call somebody. It's unbelievable, right? Technology, it allows us to go to school during the pandemic. When I was still in rabbinical school, I was able to attend school on Zoom, as were the rest of this world. So it was amazing for that. Right? We can shop, which is not always the best, because when we're, in bed at night and we're scrolling through and we're saying, "Oh, this looks nice. Oh, this is on sale." And then before you know it, you've spent hundreds of dollars at midnight. Technology also allows us to go to the doctor. I'd imagine, a couple hundred years ago, the doctor would have to come to your house with his little bag of stuff, to tell you he's going to have to cut off your leg or whatever it might be. Today, you can say, "I need an appointment." You can get a doctor, on your phone within a half an hour. It's pretty amazing. We can learn new hobbies. I'm learning the piano and the guitar right now, thanks to the internet. Unbelievable. There's no doubt that technology has made our lives better. However, hyperconnectivity, constantly being connected, means that we have difficulty disconnecting, that we can't always create the space that we need to unwind from our lives. In this week's parasha, Va'era, early on in Shemot chapter 6, Exodus chapter 6, God says, or Moses tells the Israelites, "I am God. I will free you from the labors of the Egyptians and deliver you from their bondage. I will redeem you with an outstretched arm through extraordinary chastisements." So Rashi tells us that, they are under the yoke of the burden of the Egyptians. They're struggling to even survive. They're working long hours. They're exhausted. They're in that slave mentality. But the Hasidic Rebbe tells us that not only will God free the Israelites from the actual physical labor of the Egyptians, but God will free them from the yoke of the burden, meaning the feeling that they are duty-bound to do the bidding of the Egyptians, even at times when they are not actually engaged with hard labor. So they go home from the long day of building the storage houses. Right? They might be having a little bit of food or something or schmoozing about how awful those Egyptians are with their families, but they can't get out of that mindset. They're still stuck in that work mind place. But not a lot has changed. We might not be slaves in Egypt, but we're still struggle to disconnect once we log off. Once our punch card is punched at the end of the day, doesn't mean that we're finished with our work. According to a 2020 study, which was now 5 years ago, just let that sink in, that was 5 years ago, okay? In the US, 85.8% of men and 66.5% of women in our country work more than 40 hours per week. It's the most out of any developed country in the world. In the gig economy, as it's called, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, Instacart, everything else that exists now, many can't find full-time jobs with full-time benefits, and they are required to work multiple jobs, driving all day and sometimes all night long just to pay their rent. Just yesterday, I was on a Beit Din for a conversion candidate, and I asked her to write an essay of her Jewish journey. And she is Chinese, and she talked about how Shabbat is what really made her fall in love with Judaism. For her, growing up, if you took a day off of work, you were lazy, right? Taking Shabbat off, taking 25 hours, unplugging, not working, that's unbelievable. You have to work constantly to survive in this world. And she said when she discovered Shabbat, it was the most beautiful thing she's ever discovered in her life. And now she says her fiance, who's Israeli, didn't really follow Shabbat, secular Israeli, a cultural Jew, we might say, is now saying, Shabbat, we can still drive around, go shopping. And she's like, no, Shabbat is important. We take it off and we're going to relax. If we need to drive for an emergency, that's fine. But we need to just chill for 25 hours and get out of our head that money is what is the most important thing in this world. It was really powerful to hear her say that. Right, back to our parashas. Remember, our ancestors could not unplug at the end of the day. They were constantly stuck in that mindset of being a slave and fearing what would happen if they weren't working, even if they weren't physically working. And so here comes Moses, and he told the Israelites, listen, God is going to redeem you. But the Israelites could not listen. Their spirits were crushed by the cruel bondage. The Hebrew says, mikotzer ruach, from the shortness of breath. They were like when you ever get that tight feeling in your chest, you can't breathe. You could be so anxious and overwhelmed from your work lives or whatever's going on in your personal lives. That is what every Israelite was experiencing, except for Moses. Moses did not experience that because he wasn't a slave. Right? He grew up in the palace, and he was trying a little bit too hard, too quickly to get those Israelites out of the mindset of how to turn off and accept God, that God will be redeeming them. Many of them were afraid that if they did listen to Moses, the Egyptians would just make their work even harder. So they just kept their heads down, buried in the sand, kept working. Many of us today might feel a similar shortness of spirit, a shortness of breath, feeling crushed by the weight of our daily lives. And not just our work week, but having to go to the gym, having to go to the grocery store, having time to go out with our loved ones, doing homework. There's so many aspects of our lives that we feel like we can't actually even be ourselves. We don't feel free all of the time. But even if we're able to log off, at the end of the day, at 5 o'clock, we shut our laptop, we sit on the 101, if we have to, for hours, driving home. We could be listening to a podcast or whatnot, but we're still not really logged off. We may spend the evening on our phones or our iPads or laptops scrolling through social media, which I'll say nowadays is not what it was 20 years ago when it started. It's not about following our friends and seeing pictures and seeing what they're up to. Social media is a huge distraction that's filled with just the ugly side of this world. Right? Many of us might make the mistakes of reading the comments, even if they're our friends. Oh, let's look at like what they have to say in the comments. It's never good. It's never good. Right? Even if you leave one social media and join another one, it's still filled with the same people, and it's just a waste of time, I'll say. But yet we still spend time scrolling through it as our spirits continue to get crushed more and more. It only increases our stress levels, right? Doctors tell us we should, put our phones in a different room at least an hour before bed. But how many of us actually do that? Ziggy? Yeah. Okay, a couple. I tried for about a week. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I used a different alarm, but I kept trying to grab my phone. And what's the first thing I do when I grab my phone? I go to my social media apps, I open them, and I see the first post, and I'm like, why'd I do this? I close it, I put it down, and then 10 minutes later I do the same thing. It's so difficult to unplug. So tech may have given us great benefits, right? We can connect with one another. We can watch a live stream hundreds or thousands of miles away. That is amazing, and I am so grateful that we have that technology. But there are also many causes for concern when it comes to our mental health and our spiritual health. So if you could be working or studying or communicating all the time, from sun up to sundown to middle of the night if you can't sleep, how do we know when to just stop? How do we know when to totally unplug? And employees often feel pressure to be always on, to respond in the moment, both during and outside of work hours, whether they're expected to or not. Right? If we're wearing an Apple Watch, we can get a ding. There's been an email or a WhatsApp message. And we see it, and we see who it's from, and we feel, I have to respond right now. We could be driving, and we get that ding, and it's like, I should pull over and respond to this message, because the world's going to end if I don't respond right away. In 2024, so just a few weeks ago, 58% of American employees agree that they're always connected or available for work. Over half of the entire workforce in this country are always connected. 46% of employees, nearly half, often work outside of office hours. 25% of employees, so a quarter, said that they feel that work is overtaking their personal lives. They really cannot unplug. They cannot have real relationships outside of work. And people who work 55 hours or more have a 35% increase risk of stroke. And again, if 85.6% of men, 66% of women in this country work more than 40 hours, it's a lot of people in this country who have an increased risk. Now, our ancestors were slaves in Egypt. I thought we were freed, thousands of years ago. Right? They felt the burden of the Egyptians even when they were not working, and Moses tried to reassure them that God will redeem them, but their spirits were crushed by their cruel bondage. Our spirits are still crushed. Today, many of us are slaves to our technology, to our phones, unable to disconnect. We feel the need to respond to work calls, texts, emails, all day long. Even if we're on vacation, we'll respond to emails. But then there's Shabbat, like my conversion candidate found, who's now part of the Jewish people. Shabbat is here to tell us that we should disconnect for 25 hours. The world will still be here the next day. God willing. Hopefully it will still be here. But if we do not respond to an email or a text or a phone call from our jobs, it's okay. We can respond after Shabbat. And many people even say, okay, it's 6:03, it's Havdalah, time to take out my phone and check my emails. No. Havdalah gives us that moment of, we still have that feeling of Shabbat just for a little bit longer. So maybe don't connect to your phone immediately after Shabbat tomorrow. And for those of us here or online who really do struggle to disconnect, Test it out today, right? When you get home from services tonight until tomorrow evening, even like after dinner tomorrow night, don't check your emails, don't check social media, and then maybe journal about it. See, how did those 25 hours make you feel? Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi.
And we'll continue now. We'll rise, page 46, Chati Kaddish.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divrach erutei, ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam lamei almaya yit. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudusha berichu, le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran ve'alma ve'imru amen.
We'll turn to page 47 for the Amidah. We'll begin with Adonai Sifatai Tiftach before going into our private prayers.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. shalom. Bimromav ose shalom. Bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu.
Turn to page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
Yitkaral v'yikra shemei Rabba B'yom hadivrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayachon v'yamachon v'chayet kol beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'yizman kari v'yimeru
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach Le'olam lo me'amaya yid Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitraman v'yit naseh v'yit adar v'yit alev v'yit alol shemei dekudisha B'richu le'la mikol v'gata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alama v'yimeru
Amen.
Tidka bal salo tahon avatahon decho Yisrael kodam avahon devishmaya v'yimeru
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'alko Yisrael v'yimeru
Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'elko Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen. We rise. Aleinu, page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goye aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechamonam, v'anachnu korim umishnachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shedu shemayim v'yozer arzenon my genetus okay. Kakatu b'tortech Adonayim loch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shema
You may be seated. If you're observing a Yortzeit this week, the anniversary of the passing of a loved one, I invite you to please rise to share the name of your loved one. Tevet. Today's the 24th of Tevet. In relationship? Father. Lisa. Father.
Marsha Caleb, cousin and mother-in-law.
Tony Caleb, brother.
We'll invite all those in mourning, serving at your site, to please rise at this time and say the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yit kadal vayit kadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvisman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei olamaya. Yit barach, vayit tabach, vayit pa'ar, vayit romam, vayit naseh, vayit hadar, vayit alev, vayit halal, shemei de kudisha, berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the memories always be for a blessing. May be seated. Got lots and lots of announcements. Shabbat shalom. Welcome to everyone who's here in person and online. Tomorrow, in honor of Miriam and Bob Carroll's special birthdays this month, Friends of the Carrolls are sponsoring an enhanced Kiddush luncheon and ice cream banana split sundae bar tomorrow after services. So, even if you don't come here for the entire service, at least come here for the lunch, because it's going to be good. Yeah. This Sunday, January 26th at 11 a.m. on Zoom, Chazan Mimi is going to be leading the Sacred Space service. Embrace the transformative power of quiet meditation and reflective prayer led by our very own Chazan Mimi on Zoom only. You can check the upcoming services pages on our website for the Zoom login information. So you can even sleep in a little bit and then still get to services at 11 o'clock. And then
Only an hour.
it's only an hour,
And there's even meditation as part
which
of
is
it.
nice.
It's very contemplative.
So if you like tonight's service, you really, really love Sunday mornings.
It's even mellower than this.
Yeah. And the following Sunday, the February 2nd, the Ginny Asher Quartet, an afternoon of classical music. Cantor Asher leads her string quartet in a classical music concert that features Brahms Piano Quartet No. 1, a few classic Jewish tunes, and 3 solo performances. The first half hour will be family-friendly for the little kids. And then Tuesday, this is not family-friendly, but February 4th, 7:30, Men's Club Scotch Tasting. This Scotch tasting is open to all adult HAMAKOM members. Doesn't matter if you're a male or not, or in Men's Club or not, you can join. And they will, if you want to join the Men's Club that day, they'll cover the cost of the tasting. I was there last year. They bring a lot of scotch. And then Friday, February 7th is our Zamru Shabbat dinner and speaker. We're joined after dinner by Rav Ehud Sela of Temple Ramat Zion in Northridge, who will discuss his journey from illness to health as chronicled in his new book, Seeing Angels in the Shadow of Death. Then we had Scotch tasting on February 4th. We're going to have wine tasting the 22nd of February at 6 o'clock p.m. Israeli wine tasting, and they have some of the best wine, I believe, in the world. Enjoy Havdalah and an Israeli wine tasting for Passover with Keith Miller of Decanter. Light appetizers will be served, and wines will be available for advance purchase. And then Sunday, February 23rd, there's so much stuff going on. The Lisa Schwartz Tudson Memorial Speaker, L. Rachel Lehrman, using civil rights to battle anti-Semitism in our schools and on our college campuses. Do not want to miss this program. Rachel Lehrman is the General Counsel for the Louis D. Brandeis Center for Human Rights Under Law. This week, they won a legal battle representing Jewish students at Harvard, forcing Harvard to make significant changes in how they address anti-Semitism on campus. She will discuss her work not only on college campuses, but also on what the Brandeis Center is doing to support Jewish K through 12 students here in California. So a lot going on over the past next 30 days. So RSVP now for all of these amazing programs. HAMAKOM, the place to celebrate Jewish life. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. So our closing hymn is Adon Olam. This is a French Sephardic tune for it, and I'm sure you'll get it quickly. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'ed Nasav Echevzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yeh V'tifara Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachmira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Chebli Be'et Sarah V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Midnat Kosi B'yom Ekra B'yado Avkid Ruchi Be'eti Shan Be'a'iram Be'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li Velo Ira. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. There's a little oneg if you want some cookies and other items. If you follow Ziggy, he'll show you where the cookies are.
Who put the cookies in the cookie jar?